Hello, parents and guardians of CISD first and second graders. My name is Dina Dinas. I'm the Executive Director of Teaching and Learning in the Coppell Independent School District, and I want to invite you to spend a couple of minutes with me to learn about the first and second grade GT assessment practices we'll be utilizing this year. If you have a learner who's been in first or second grade in Coppell ISD before, please note that our practice has been revised based on some changes to the state plan for gifted education. As we go through the presentation, you will see the places where reference is made to the state plan with the chapter and the accountability standard that particular portion of our assessment practice relates to. We are very proud of the fact that as a school district, we anchor all of our work for gifted learners in the state plan for gifted education, as well as coupling that with information that we gleaned from the community in the spring of 2013 when we had a program evaluation of our gifted services. During that evaluation, we brought in community stakeholders, parents, classroom teachers, campus administrators, and central office leadership to determine how we might best support our learners. Our gifted service model in Coppell ISD is fluid and it is responsive to the needs of our learners. It's important to note that you don't have to be identified gifted and talented in order to benefit from the support of gifted specialists who are on all of our elementary campuses. And this can look a lot of different ways. So first, it's important to note that our gifted specialists do meet with our classroom educators to plan instruction that includes extension for learners that have demonstrated that they already have a solid understanding of the high priority standards that have been reviewed. They also provide differentiated instruction where learners may be working in small groups or are interacting with the content in a different way. They may have a different process that they're utilizing to attack the content, or they may be required to utilize a different or create a different product in relation to the content. Again, the gifted specialists and the classroom educators are working together to provide that classroom differentiation. And then you may see from time to time where our gifted specialists are pushing into classrooms and co-teaching with the classroom educator, or pulling a small group of learners, some identified, some not, around content that is accelerated and or is extended from what's being covered in the classroom. Sometimes you will also see the gifted specialist pulling learners out for some extension activities or acceleration activities. But this model is flexible and based on the changing needs of our learners in different content areas and different time periods. We don't formally assess our first and second graders for GT. However, we do have an ongoing process, and so this school year 1920 we've implemented some changes in how our gifted specialists will be interacting with learners in those grade levels. We want all learners to understand that GT stands for great thinking, and our GT specialists are the great thinking coaches. And therefore, they'll be pushing into first and second grade classrooms to provide think tanks or a series of activities that focus on divergent, convergent, and creative thinking. They'll be the coaches in those opportunities. In addition to that, we will ask for a needs assessment from our classroom educators where they may be able to give us some qualitative data on the needs of the learners in their classrooms. And then if we feel like we need to leverage a standardized assessment, we will go ahead and do that if a learner appears to be exhibiting some of the characteristics we might expect to see in a gifted learner. Some of those traits that we might see in a gifted learner might be an advanced sense of humor, a learner who understands and or makes jokes that seem to be more sophisticated than perhaps their age or grade level, those that use an advanced vocabulary or advanced language, those that exhibit a great deal of empathy or are sensitive to the situations around them, learners who have a different perspective and may attack a problem in a different way, and those that are accelerated in their learning. Again, it is possible that through the think tank activities, there will be a request for additional assessment data for some learners. If that's the case, you will be notified on an individual basis. And should a learner be identified through this process, the Campus Gifted and Talented Committee will notify the parents or guardian and request permission to serve, and services will begin as soon as that permission has been obtained. CISD universally screens all kindergarten learners. If you were here with us in kindergarten, you know that. And as the learner matriculates through elementary school, please note that we also screen universally at 3rd and 5th grade, but our service practice does extend really to all grade levels as it is ongoing, and the think tanks that we are doing in 1st and 2nd grade are evidence of that. If you have any questions regarding our assessment practices, please contact me, Dina Dinas, Executive Director of Teaching and Learning. My email address is ddinas@coppellisd.com. We are really glad you're here, and we welcome you to the 2019-2020 school year. It's going to be a great year.